Hi there, how are you, my beautiful humans, you amazing movers and shakers? So this is Lesedi Ali. I'm a spiritual life coach and psychic advisor, and I wanted to talk to you today about spiritual warfare and what some of these things may look like, how you might need to protect yourself, how things may manifest in a way that maybe you didn't expect. So first and foremost, let's please understand that everybody doesn't have the same experience when it comes to what they believe or think of as spiritual warfare. But I'm going to speak from a place that has been very real for me and that has helped me to help others in this particular part of my process and the experiences that I've had in this particular reality. So the first thing I want to address is negative energies, negative spirits do exist. Okay. A lot of them exist because people have made them real. If you think about any idea, any thought, all it takes is consistent, continuous energy and effort on that thought to make it appear in the physical realm, even in the spiritual. I think of Santa Claus, for example, right? There is a energy about the Christmas season. You can feel it, like literally it is palpable. And this is the Christmas spirit. Everyone for years, centuries even, maybe centuries, yeah, have thought of Santa Claus as this real magical being that incites joy and compassion and giving, right? Not only for adults, but for children. And it's especially effective because adults get wrapped up into it, making it this magical season and time for children. Being that this idea started with a person, it grew and grew and grew with so much focused energy, time, and attention that now there is a spirit of Christmas, a spirit of Kris Kringle, okay? And this can be put in the same space when you think about negative energies, entities, beings. The more you have had individuals feeding and breathing into the idea of the devil and demons and like soul-sucking type of spirits, vampires even, these things have come alive and made themselves very real because of our choice to focus on them. So I say this to say the one most powerful thing my mother ever gave me when I was young, I was afraid of the things that I would see. You have to give me a second, I'm sorry. But she told me, don't be afraid. Don't be scared. You tell it, if you are not my family, you have no business here. If you do not belong here, get out. And when she told me this, it stuck with me, and it stuck with me to this day. Not to say that it solved every single one of these spiritual type of attacks that I had, but it gave me power, and it gives me power to pull from. Right? So as I began to step into my own as a divine feminine, as a divine individual, as a seer, I could say to negative energies, entities, beings, get out. Get out my house, get away from my sister, get away from my kid. You have no business being here. Step off. Right? And it comes from what my mother gave me, from a place of strength when I didn't have any. I also grew up without any real explanation for these things because if you grow up in the church, different variations of the church will teach you and tell you, oh, there's no such thing as walking spirits and demons, and there's no this and there's no that. Cool, fine, for that perspective of the reality. But for my perspective of the reality, we hear, we see, and we have to deal with different energies trying to take control of our lives, trying to feed on us. Right? And that brings me to the point of why you don't give it energy. You don't give it time or attention, and you damn sure don't give it fear. Okay? Here's why. Scientifically speaking, if you were to pull out the intestines of the body, you cannot put them back in. Okay. Most things you can, take off the finger, put the finger back on, take out the eyeball, put the eyeball back in, right? You can sew things back together and put them back a certain way if you absolutely have to. But a doctor, a medical physician could not have your intestines out of your body and try to wrap them all up the way they're supposed to be and put them back in. The reason this is because it is a vast network that was put there and placed there on purpose. If you look at chi, if you look at chakra energy, you will see that this particular energy center where your intestines lie is the space from which you create. And it's the space where your force can come from. You know how, I feel something in my gut. Trust your gut. My stomach don't feel right in certain situations. That's because this is where you harness your energy for real. Okay, even your breath work being from that space is helpful. Your diaphragm is right above your intestines. Okay, so I say that to say the energy that you give off is like a battery, right? The way the intestines are wound up in the body looks almost exactly the way that a battery's wires and things are wound up inside of it to give the thing it's put inside of energy. Okay. So when you have negative energy boiling up and festering inside of you, that gives those negative sides of the polarity, beings, entities, demons, spirits, something to feed on, right? And you feed them with that negative energy to do whatever it is that they're wanting to do, which is all the things in your mind that you're afraid of because you have not taken a hold of your mind. The same way as when, from a higher perspective, a higher vibrational frequency, when you give your angels, your divine guides, the Most High God, that energy that is accepting and love and faith and excitement and joy, and the thoughts that come with that feed the positive polarity of your experience and the positive energies and entities and beings that we've put all of this energy into that have manifested into the real. Okay, so that's really just lesson number one right there. Don't give anything energy that you don't wish to feed. And that can be easier said than done. Okay, I have come from a place of trauma. I've come from a place of anxiety, depression, suicidal thoughts and tendencies. I've cut myself. I've hit myself. I can remember as early as maybe 11, 12, I actually used to hit my head on my desk in school, and I would cut myself on the ankle when I was in high school. Okay, so for those of you that come from those kinds of backgrounds where you have almost been in a state of perpetual fear, or you've been in a place of feeling, worthless or low and nobody was there for you, I get that. I vibe with you 110%. Okay, we have the same book, just in different chapters. And then in my adult life, I went through the same things, the same kinds of things, more trauma, abuse, somebody talking down to me or bad to me. So I get it. The strength to tell something to leave you alone or get away from you that ain't got no business messing with you, but it's hurting you, that may not come overnight. It doesn't. So that's where you get tools. That's where you get help. That's where you get support to deal with those things. Now, I'm a firm believer in nixing codependency tendencies because I was very codependent for a very long time, okay? And it's not healthy. All of your strength, all of your will to survive, to beat the odds, that comes from you, baby. It just does, right? They are meant to light your fire when your fire has been put out, maybe, or to help encourage you when you just can't pull it out of yourself. But they're not meant to be your lighthouse. They're not meant to be the reason that you do whatever it is you do. I do it for them. No, you got to do it for you. Absolutely. Okay? So, that being said, it can be difficult to stand up for yourself spiritually if you are not spiritually secure. So you need to do things that are going to help you be and get spiritually secure. This can look like affirmations. This can look like using crystals. This can look like grounding work. This can look like prayer. This could be religion. This could be mentorship, right? But whatever you need to do to fill you up, help you get where you need to be, use it to your benefit. Appreciate it with gratitude and empathy and compassion and joy and excitement. And then start moving on your own. Start doing it on your own. Because if you go try to fight, defeat, battle, deal with something with somebody else's energy and you don't believe it yourself, that's not gonna do nothing. Nada. Okay? Oh man, another great opportunity. If you cannot do this with other people, crystals, yada, yada, right? I found it very helpful to tap into my spiritual team. Okay. So if you're in a space to tap into your spiritual team, do so. Wake up in the morning and thank God for waking up. Talk to your divine higher power or inner power about the dream you had or the day you want to have. Spend time in that energy of peace, divine bliss, guidance, right? Ask for guidance, ask for help through the day, ask for protection through your day, okay? You can speak with your guardian angels, archangels. That spiritual entourage is always A1. I love them so much. You could talk to them about things, right? And how because I've been crazy, okay? There's a difference between hearing voices and actually communicating with the divine, right? In many cases, the voices, if you will, on a negative frequency and whatnot, are going to be your thoughts for real, how you really think about yourself, how you really feel about things, all the insecurities that want to come up, right? But when you are speaking with your divine guides and beings and so forth, from my experience anyway, they interrupt me. I could literally be in the middle of a sentence talking to them and they interrupt me. So I know it's not my thought, my negative, influences, because this voice or these words will interrupt what I'm saying, okay? And for those of you who have been able to connect to the divine in that way, you already know what that feels like and looks like. So again, strengthen that relationship, okay? And it doesn't have to be all or everybody. It really doesn't. When I'm going through times of, focusing on my heart chakra or healing or, detoxing herbal stuff, I'm, talking to Archangel Raphael a lot. If I'm needing to be very strong and, on my grind and protective and mama bear mode, I'm spending a lot of time with Archangel Michael. All right. If I'm in my creative space, I'm spending a lot of time with Archangel Gabriel. All right. So that's another way you can do that. And then protection in your words, right? One I love is, it goes something like, divine guides and guardians, the Most High God, protect me 3 feet to my left, protect me 3 feet to my right, protect me 3 feet above my head, protect me 3 feet below my feet, protect me in all areas, ways, and spaces throughout my day. And as I breathe out, I expand my aura to be about 3 feet in all directions, and I'm walking in this sphere, if you will, throughout my day. I feel peaceful in it. I feel just peace. Like, that's really the only word that comes up is peace. It feels real good. And you don't have to stress yourself out with thinking that, if I'm not thinking about it, it's not there. No, you already put it up. You already asked for help keeping it up. Don't trip. It's not supposed to be something that expends your energy all day. It's not, especially if you've been feeding yourself properly, grounding yourself regularly, and loving on yourself daily. You have plenty of energy to set an intention and leave it to God. Ask a request and leave it to God, or whatever you subscribe to. The universe, the Most High, your guardian angels, spiritual entourage, they're always listening to you. Always. Okay? Okay. So I know we unpacked a lot in this particular segment. So I do want to take some time to go back and maybe dive in a little bit deeper with some parts of this conversation to help any of you along that may be dealing with some of these things or may have more questions. Please comment anything that might be, helpful to the next person, or if you have questions, or if you want to, have a dialogue about it, comment. All right. Subscribe if you're not already subscribed to the channel. All right. We have goals to meet so I can continue making content like this. This is literally all I want to talk to y'all about is your spiritual process and your journey and how to evolve in the way that's most beneficial to you. I've even got information for our Reiki and healing, and the fact that we even have names for all these things just makes me feel so good. Reiki. I was like, oh, well, I think I can do things with my hands. So yeah. Okay. Well, I love you all. Namaste.